Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we, take a deep dive into all sorts of fascinating topics.
Right.
And today we're going to be looking at human design.
Okay.
So think of it like a personal GPS for navigating life.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about understanding your own unique energy and how you make decisions best.
Yeah.
And how to move through the world in a way that feels aligned with who you truly are.
Exactly. And that's what I'm really excited to unpack today.
Right.
I've been digging through Cheatham Parkin's book, Human Design, Discover the Person You Were Born to Be.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it's been a real eye-opener. I'm already starting to see how this system can help cut through all the noise and expectations that can make life feel so overwhelming.
Yeah, I can see why you're hooked. Human design offers this incredible framework for self-discovery.
Right.
It helps you understand why you react the way you do in certain situations, why some decisions feel effortless and others leave you drained,
Yeah.
and ultimately how to make choices that truly resonate with your core being.
It's like finally getting the instruction manual
Exactly.
through your own unique operating system, right?
Exactly. It's about recognizing that you're not broken or flawed, you're
Yeah.
just wired differently.
Yeah.
And once you understand that wiring, you can start to operate in a way that feels more natural, more aligned,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately more fulfilling.
Okay, I'm sold. So let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
What exactly is human design? I know it draws from some ancient systems,
Uh-huh.
but I'm still a bit fuzzy on how it all comes together.
Well, it's this fascinating blend of ancient wisdom and modern-day practicality, incorporating elements of astrology, the I Ching Kabbalah, and the chakra system.
Wow, that's quite a mix.
Yeah.
So how do these systems combine to create this personalized map of our energy?
The core human design is your chart, also called a body graph,
Okay.
which visually represents your unique energetic blueprint.
Mhm.
It shows these 9 energy centers, channels connecting those centers, and 64 gates, which are like specific energetic qualities.
Okay, I'm picturing a cosmic connect-the-dots game.
Right.
But this isn't about fortune-telling or predicting the future, right?
Right.
It's more about understanding how our energy works.
Exactly. Human design isn't about telling you what's going to happen or what you should do.
Yeah.
It's about understanding your natural tendencies, your strengths, and your potential challenges, so you can make choices that feel aligned with who you are.
I like that it's about empowerment, not predetermination. It's like you still have free will,
Right.
but you're making choices from a place of greater self-awareness.
That's a great way to put it. Human design doesn't take away your free will.
Yeah.
It enhances it.
You mentioned this idea of human design as a map, but not the terrain itself.
Right.
Could you unpack that analogy a bit further?
Sure, think of it this way. The map provides guidance,
Okay.
showing you the lay of the land, highlighting potential obstacles and smoother pathways. But you are the one walking the path.
Huh.
You get to choose which direction to go and which trails to explore and how you experience the journey.
So it's not like a set of rigid instructions. It's more like having a knowledgeable guide whispering in your ear, hey, this path might be a bit bumpy for you, but that one over there seems like smooth sailing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It helps you make more informed choices about where you want to go and how you want to get there. And what makes it even more fascinating
Yeah.
is that it acknowledges that who we are is shaped by both conscious and unconscious influences.
No, that sounds deep.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this conscious versus unconscious aspect.
So human design identifies 2 major imprints that form your design. There's the conscious imprint created at the moment of your birth, which is kind of like the astrological sign we're familiar with,
Yeah.
reflecting the energy of that specific moment in time.
Okay, so it captures the cosmic snapshot of our birth influencing our personality and how we perceive the world.
Yes, but there's also this fascinating concept of an unconscious imprint,
Okay.
which is formed roughly 3 months before birth.
Wow.
It's like a reflection of ancestral patterns, almost like your soul's DNA.
Whoa, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So we're carrying around not just the energy of our birth moment,
Yeah.
but also echoes of our ancestry.
Exactly. And that ancestral influence can have a profound impact on our behaviors, our fears, and even our relationships. It's really about recognizing those deeper patterns and how they might be playing out in our lives.
I'm already starting to see how understanding those 2 imprints
Right.
could lead to some serious aha moments. But you also mentioned something about clearing the path.
Yes.
What does that mean in the context of human design?
It's about recognizing and navigating all those external influences that can steer us away from our true selves.
Hmm.
We absorb so many messages about who we should be, what we should do, and how we should live our lives.
Yes, it's like we're constantly bombarded with these expectations.
Right.
And it can be hard to distinguish between what's truly authentic for us and what we've simply been conditioned to believe.
Exactly. And that's where human design can be incredibly helpful. It provides a framework for identifying those external pressors and consciously choosing which ones serve us and which ones hold us back.
So instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, we can become more aware observers of those influences, choosing which ones to let in and which ones to keep at bay.
Precisely. And a key aspect of this is understanding your undefined centers.
Okay.
These are the centers in your chart that are white, meaning they don't have a consistent way of operating.
Okay, so if these centers are undefined, does that mean they're more susceptible to outside influences?
Exactly. It's like they're open to absorbing the energy of others, especially those who have that center defined. You can unconsciously take on their traits, their emotions, their beliefs without even realizing it.
That makes so much sense. It's like a chameleon effect.
Yes.
We blend in with our surroundings, trying to be what others expect of us, and we lose sight of our own unique energy.
Yes, and that's why understanding your undefined centers is so powerful. It helps you recognize when you're being influenced by other people's energy and consciously choose whether to engage with that energy or step back and maintain your own individuality.
So instead of feeling lost or drained by those influences,
Yeah.
we can learn to observe them with a sense of detachment, recognizing that they're not truly us.
Exactly. And that's where this concept of impassive wisdom comes in.
Okay, that sounds intriguing. Tell me more about this impassive wisdom.
It's about using your undefined centers to observe and reflect rather than absorb and be swayed.
Okay.
It's like having this ability to see things from multiple angles without getting caught up in the emotional intensity of a particular viewpoint.
I like that it's like having this inner observer who can see the bigger picture without getting lost in the drama.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that just because you feel something strongly doesn't necessarily mean it's your truth.
Right.
It might simply be the energy of someone else that you've absorbed.
Okay, this is already blowing my mind. And I imagine this whole idea of undefined centers plays a big role in how we make decisions, right?
You're right. And that brings us to this fascinating concept of authority in human design.
Ooh.
Okay, we're going to pick that up next time.
Sounds good.
Right.
I can't wait.
Awesome.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into human design.
Okay, so last time we were talking about undefined centers and how they can make us more susceptible to outside influences.
Yes, and how recognizing those influences can help us make choices that are more aligned with our true selves.
Right, it's like we're starting to peel back the layers of conditioning and see ourselves more clearly.
Exactly, and that awareness is key to understanding how we make decisions best.
And that's where this concept of authority comes in, right? You mentioned it briefly at the end of last part, and I'm really curious to learn more. What exactly does it mean to have a specific authority in human design?
Well, it's like having an internal compass for making decisions that are in sync with your energy. It's about recognizing that we don't all process information and make choices in the same way.
So it's not about blindly following our minds or our emotions, but rather tuning into this inner authority that knows what's truly right for us.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that you already have this inner guidance system, and learning to trust it can lead to more aligned choices, less resistance, and a deeper sense of self-trust.
Okay, I'm already feeling more aligned just thinking about it. But how do we know what our authority is? Is it based on our type?
Yes. Each type has a different way of operating energetically and consequently, a different way of making decisions that are in alignment with their nature. It's like each type has a unique internal compass.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It's about understanding how our specific design guides us towards making choices that feel good and lead to less resistance in our lives.
Exactly. And the book shares some fascinating examples of how these different authorities work in practice. For instance, some people have what's called emotional authority. They need to ride their emotional wave, allowing their feelings to settle before making important decisions.
So it's not about suppressing emotions, but rather giving them space to inform the decision-making process.
Yes, it's about recognizing that emotions are a valuable source of information, but they don't always provide immediate clarity for these individuals. It's about waiting for the emotional intensity to subside before making a choice.
That makes sense. It's like waiting for the storm to pass before assessing the damage and deciding how to rebuild. What other kinds of authority are there?
Well, another interesting one is sacral authority. People with this authority make decisions based on gut feelings, these deep, visceral responses that say either yes or no.
So it's like a gut instinct, that immediate knowing that something feels right or wrong.
Exactly. It's not about overthinking or analyzing. It's about tuning into that deep inner knowing that's often beneath the surface of our conscious minds.
I love that. It's
Oh.
like our body has this innate wisdom that we can tap into if we learn to listen. What other authorities did you find intriguing?
Well, there's splenic authority, which is all about following spontaneous, intuitive hits. It's like these flashes of insight that come out of nowhere, guiding you towards what's correct in that moment.
So it's about trusting those intuitive nudges, even if we don't fully understand them.
Exactly. It's about surrendering to that inner guidance and taking action before the mind has a chance to overthink it.
That sounds a bit like jumping off a cliff and trusting that your parachute will open.
In a way, yes, but it's not reckless. It's about recognizing that sometimes the most aligned decisions are the ones that come from a place of pure intuition.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this could be both exhilarating and terrifying all at once.
Yeah.
What other types of authority are there?
There's ego authority, where you make decisions based on your heart's desire. It's about aligning with what truly excites and motivates you.
So it's about following your passion, your heart's calling.
Exactly. And then there's outer authority, which is a bit different from the others. People with this authority need to consult with trusted sources, reflect over time, and gather information before making a decision.
So it's not about rushing into things, but rather taking a more deliberate and reflective approach.
Precisely, it's about recognizing that they need external input and time to process information before they can arrive at a choice that feels aligned.
Okay, so we have emotional authority, sacral authority, splenic authority, ego authority, and outer authority. It seems like there's an authority for every personality and decision-making style.
Yes, and the beauty of it is that once you understand your own authority, you can start to make choices that feel more effortless, more aligned, and ultimately more fulfilling.
I love it. It's like we're finally given permission to trust our own inner guidance system instead of second-guessing ourselves or seeking validation from others.
Exactly, and that sense of self-trust is one of the most powerful gifts that human design can offer.
Okay, so we've talked about type centers and authority.
Mhm.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together to create this map of our unique energy. But what about those channels and gates you mentioned earlier? They sound like they hold a lot of detailed information about our individual design.
They absolutely do. The 36 channels and 64 gates add another layer of depth and complexity to your human design chart, revealing specific energetic pathways and qualities that make you uniquely you.
Okay, so let's break it down. What are these channels and how do they work?
Imagine your energy centers as cities, and the channels are like highways connecting those cities when a channel is activated in your chart. It means there's a consistent flow of energy between those two centers, influencing how you express those energies in the world.
Okay, I'm picturing a bustling network of energy highways. So each channel represents a different kind of energy flow, right? Like some might be about mental energy, others about emotions, and others about taking action.
You got it. And the book does a fantastic job of describing these channels in a way that really helps you understand their significance.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. I'm ready to dive into those channel descriptions. What are some examples that will spark our listeners' curiosity?
Well, one that stood out to me was the channel of abstract thinking, which connects the Ajna center or mind to the head center or crown.
Okay, so that's the channel for all the deep thinkers, the philosophers, the people who love to ponder life's big questions.
Exactly. People with this channel activated are drawn to abstract concepts, theories, and ideas. They have a knack for seeing patterns and connections that others might miss.
I know a few people, like they're always coming up with these mind-bending insights that leave me in awe. But I imagine this channel can also be a bit of a double-edged sword. It's easy to get lost in your head if you're constantly analyzing and pondering, right?
That's true. The book mentions how people with this channel can sometimes get caught up in worry and doubt, overthinking things to the point of paralysis. They need to find a balance between their active minds and the ability to let go and trust the flow of life.
That makes sense. It's like finding that sweet spot between engaging your mental prowess and not letting it take over. So what other channels sparked your interest?
Another one that fascinated me was the channel of transformation, which connects the solar plexus center or emotions to the throat center.
Oh, that sounds intense. So this channel is all about expressing emotions powerfully and authentically.
Exactly. People with this channel activated tend to experience a wide range of emotions, and they're not afraid to express them. They can be deeply passionate, creative, and inspiring, but also prone to dramatic ups and downs.
I can see how that could be both a gift and a challenge. It's like having this wellspring of emotional energy that needs to be channeled effectively.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes how important it is for people with this channel to find healthy outlets for their emotions, whether it's through creative expression, deep conversations, or simply taking time for solitude and reflection.
It's like learning to ride the wave of your emotions rather than getting swept away by them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm hooked on these channel descriptions. What about channels related to purpose or direction in life? Did you find any that address those big picture themes?
Yes, one that stood out was the Channel of Awakening, which connects the G center or self to the throat center.
Okay, so this is the channel for people who are on a mission to discover their true selves and share that awakening with the world.
Precisely, they have a strong sense of identity, a love of life, and a desire to inspire others to embrace their own authenticity.
I love that. It sounds like they have this inner beacon that guides them and helps them illuminate the path for others as well.
You got it. And the book mentions that people with this channel can be quite sensitive to criticism as their self-expression is deeply intertwined with their sense of purpose.
That makes sense. When you're living in alignment with your true self, any challenge to that can feel like a personal attack. It's like you're protecting the very core of your being.
Exactly. And the key is to find that inner strength and self-acceptance that allows you to remain true to yourself even in the face of external doubts or disapproval.
So it's about trusting your own inner compass, your own unique path of awakening, rather than seeking validation from others.
Precisely. And that's a theme that runs through all of human design, regardless of your type or the specific channels activated in your chart.
I'm loving how these channels add another layer of depth to understanding ourselves and the people around us. But what about the gates? How do they fit into the picture?
Well, the 64 gates are like specific energetic qualities or themes that influence your personality traits, strengths, and potential challenges. Each channel is made up of 2 gates, one at each end, and the combination of those gates adds a unique flavor to the channel's energy.
Okay, so it's like each gate is a specific ingredient that contributes to the overall flavor of the channel.
Exactly. And the book provides detailed descriptions of each gate, highlighting its potential expressions and how it might manifest in your life.
I can already see how this is going to be a rabbit hole of self-discovery.
Ah,
So many intriguing details to explore. But to keep things manageable for our listener, maybe we could focus on a few key gates that highlight different areas of life, like mental energy, emotional depth, and purpose.
great idea. Let's start with Gate 47, the Gate of Realization, which is part of the channel of abstract thinking we discussed earlier.
Okay, so this gate is all about those aha moments, the sudden flashes of insight that help us make sense of the world.
Exactly. People with this gate activated tend to have a deep well of mental energy and a knack for seeing things from a unique perspective. They often experience those eureka moments that lead to breakthroughs in understanding.
I love those moments.
Yeah.
It's like suddenly the puzzle pieces click into place and you see things with a whole new level of clarity.
Yes. And the book mentions how important it is for people with this gate to find outlets for their mental energy, whether it's through writing, teaching, or simply engaging in stimulating conversations.
I can see how bottling up all that mental energy could lead to feeling restless or frustrated. It's like having a powerful engine that needs to be revved up regularly. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
We've been unraveling the mysteries of human design, exploring those energy centers, channels, and gates that make up our unique blueprint.
It's like we've been assembling a cosmic puzzle piece by piece, and now we're ready to add the final layer of profiles.
Okay. I'm intrigued you mentioned profiles earlier, but I'm still a bit fuzzy on how they fit into the picture. What exactly are profiles in human design?
Profiles combine 2 lines, one from your conscious imprint and one from your unconscious imprint, creating a more detailed picture of your personality dynamics, strengths, and potential challenges.
So it's like taking those individual line flavors we talked about earlier, like those in the gates,
Right.
and blending them together to create a unique personality cocktail.
I like that analogy. And just like there are countless cocktail combinations, there are 12 distinct profiles in human design, each with its own distinct flavor and expression.
Okay, I'm ready to taste test these profiles.
Yeah.
What kind of insights can we gain from understanding our own profile? I'm curious to see what this reveals about our personality and how we're designed to interact with the world.
Well, the book gives the example of Prince Harry, who has a 14 profile. This means his conscious personality is influenced by line 1, which is all about exploring foundations and seeking a deep understanding of things.
That makes sense. He seems like someone who's always questioning, digging deeper, and trying to get to the bottom of things.
Exactly. And his unconscious personality, influenced by line 4, adds a layer of seeking connection and building a network of trusted allies.
So he's not just a lone wolf digging for information. He also wants to share his discoveries and build relationships with people who share his interests.
Precisely. And the book points out that this combination can sometimes create a push and pull dynamic as the one line wants to retreat into its own world of exploration, while the 4 line craves connection and belonging.
Okay, so it's like this inner struggle between wanting to delve deep into your own interests and also wanting to connect with others and share those passions.
Yes, and understanding those underlying dynamics can be incredibly helpful in navigating relationships and finding a balance that honors both aspects of your personality.
That's so helpful. It's like having a roadmap for understanding not just your own quirks, but also the quirks of the people you're in relationship with, especially if you know their profile too.
Exactly. And while we can't go into detail about all 12 profiles today, I did want to touch on a few others that really stood out to me in the book.
Yes, please give us a taste of those other profile insights. What combinations piqued your curiosity?
Well, the 24 profile really fascinated me. These individuals are often naturally gifted and creative, but they might not even recognize their own talents. They really need others to reflect their potential back to them in order to fully step into their power.
That's interesting. It's like they need that external validation to see their own brilliance.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes how important it is for 24s to surround themselves with people who see and appreciate their unique gifts. Those supportive relationships can really help them blossom and share their talents with the world.
So it's about finding your tribe, those people who truly get you and encourage you to shine. What other profiles caught your eye?
Another one that stood out was the 35 profile. These are the individuals who are known for their resilience and their ability to learn through experience, often through a crash and learn approach.
So they're not afraid to make mistakes.
Mhm.
They see those setbacks as opportunities for growth.
Exactly. They're the ones who are willing to experiment, take risks, and learn from their missteps. And the book emphasizes how important it is for them to not get discouraged by setbacks. Their journey is all about trial and error, picking themselves up, and ultimately emerging stronger and wiser.
It's like they have this built-in ability to bounce back from adversity and keep moving forward. I admire that kind of tenacity, but does this crash and learn approach ever create challenges in their lives?
Well, the book mentions that 35s can sometimes struggle with commitment as they're always seeking new experiences and pushing their own boundaries.
Ah, so it's that classic tension between wanting freedom and exploration and also craving stability and connection.
Precisely. And finding that balance between those two impulses can be a key theme in their lives.
So much of human design seems to be about finding that sweet spot, that place of balance where we can honor our natural energy and make choices that truly align with who we are.
You got it. And it's a journey, not a destination. The more we learn about our design, the more we can embrace our strengths, navigate our challenges, and ultimately create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling.
This has been such an eye-opening exploration as we wrap up our deep dive into human design. What's the most important takeaway you'd like to leave with our listener today?
I think the most crucial thing to remember is this: human design isn't about